So last Thursday I did something I never thought I'd do. I got to wear a funny hat and a Batman cape, and then someone shook my hand and said, "Congratulations, you've graduated from university." So in honour of that, I decided to do a diecast review, not on a NASCAR diecast this week, but instead on my graduation present. It's on box. Yeah, that's about as much as you need to know about the box. There's no dents or scratches. And this thing got smashed to pieces. Zingy, that's a good word. Oh, excuse me. It's sloppy. I've seen paper customs on YouTube done better than this. So hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Diecast Review Monday. Sponsored by Race Gear UK, but not with one of their cars this week. This is, as you can see in front of you, that's definitely not a 164 NASCAR diecast. That is actually a 124 NHRA funny car diecast. And the reason why I'm reviewing this, as I explained briefly in the intro, last Thursday I graduated from my course at the University of Greenwich, media writing. Considering this time 4 years ago I had absolutely no idea what I was doing in my life, except that I hated the job centre and everyone in it, you know, kind of proud. So I decided for this week, in honour of that, I decided to do a diecast review on the graduation present I got from my uncle, which, as you can see, is an NHRA Pontiac Firebird funny car. Dates from 1997, and it's for the legendary John Force. It's a diecast I've seen on his shelf for ages, and I've always thought, wow, that's an awesome diecast. So when I opened up the box and found out that he'd given it to me as a present, I was like, whoa, this is amazeballs. And considering I am looking into starting to collect NHRA 124 diecast models for an NHRA stop motion project I have planned next summer, this is the perfect start, to be honest. So, you see the first look here at the body. The only difficulty is, obviously, I'm used to shooting 164 NASCARs, which are a lot shorter and smaller. Look how long this thing is. It's a very long car. Down, you see the side. First off, it's in a Castrol GTX livery, which I love, I absolutely adore. As I've explained before on the show, petrol paint schemes look for business. There we go, focused in. There's the front end, the distinctive Firebird snout. They're just plastic moulded, the parachute casings, which, you know, it'd be nice to have a sort of cloth thing, but I understand, obviously for mass production, there's the wheelie bar on the back as well, and a full spoiler. Let's spin it back round to the front again. It's tricky filming this one. Now, the unique thing about NHRA drag race cars, and obviously the models that befall them, is that we don't just have to review what we can see on the outside. Strip it bare. There you go. Let's lift the body off for a second and have a look underneath, which is where a lot of the detail is on this model. It's a very, very nicely detailed model. Let's zoom in there, see if it'll focus on the engine. As you can see, it's fully wired up and everything, all the belts in there, and all the wires leading from the spark plugs and everything on the on the car. Also, what I think is quite nice, you can see here, this rail there is actually the steering column, the steering rack, and it fully works as well. If I turn that, it leads all the way down here to these wheels at the front. As you can see, there's also fire extinguishers down in the front as well, and the fuel cell, I believe that is as well. And we look back up here, there you go, as you can see up the back as well, fully moulded and detailed roll cage and seat as well. There's also, I believe, the transmission that goes underneath there to the rear axle as well, and the wheels, nice big rubber as well on those things, but you've got to get a lot of horsepower. I believe these engines have something stupid like 8, 10, 20,000 horsepower or something, so you have a lot of power in these things. And the way the body even goes back on is fairly realistic as well. Let me just show you. Oh, just as well, even you've got this little bar here which helps with display. So there you go, you've got that bar on. So you can leave it, you can have body off and just the chassis there. You can have it body up like that, as I say, like they work on it in the garage area. Or you just take this little thing off, down it goes, and she's ready for battle. I'm a big fan of drag racing. You've probably seen before on my channel, I put up various drag racing stuff, but I'm mostly going for street kind of street classes, you know, like Pro Street and modified stuff like that, kind of super stock and street stock, things like that. I haven't really been into the sort of top level premier competition of drag racing, but I have been getting much more into NHRA funny car racing. I'm much more into the full bodied drag racing rather than rails. I love Pro Modified and I love Pro Stock. In fact, there is a thriving MSA British Drag Racing Championship here, and their premier class is Pro Stock, and you probably saw my videos of them running at the Mopar Euronationals, and they were just amazing. They were so cool. I love watching the NHRA videos of John and Courtney Force, and Ron Capps is currently my favourite driver. They are just absolutely insane machines, and drag racing is an awesome sport. So anyway, this has been my diecast review, something slightly different this week, of this 1997 NHRA funny car John Force Castrol GTX Pontiac Firebird. Funny car. Lovely present from my uncle for my graduation, so thanks very much, Uncle. And in the meantime, I'll see you over on Bomber Sports Gaming in the next few days for some more Grid Autosport videos, and maybe a new series over there called the Bad Games Beatdown. So stay tuned for that, and I've got something very special coming up on Team Bomber Sports this Friday as well. I'll see you there.
This time we're on a quick move, and it looks like Russell Ingall, ever the chancer, also moves past him with a couple screaming through the box stop chicane on the back straightaway. Very tight, intense little circuit.
Shut up! Stop it! Can I pull over a second, smack your head off the dashboard? I'm not advocating violence, ladies and gentlemen, except against rubbish games.